This is WNSB coming to you from the Access Center in Londonderry, New Hampshire.
Hi, my name is Cami.
And I'm Connor. And this is WNSB.
Today we have Emmeline with Michaela Maroney,
Jonathan with Brian Wilson,
Brent talking about the Amur leopard,
Lily talking about African dancing and drumming,
Taylor about tsunamis,
Cami talking about Gabby Douglas,
and Connor talking about augmented reality goggles. Now we are going to Emmeline with Michaela Maroney.
Thanks, Cami. Hi, Emmeline. Hi, I'm Emmeline, and I will talk to you about the famous gymnast Michaela Maroney's retirement. Michaela was an Olympic gymnast who was part of the Fierce Five. The Fierce Five was the gymnastics team that won the second team gold medal for the United States. She was a member of the women's gymnastics team, dubbed the Fierce Five at the 2012 Summer Olympics. She won a gold medal for the team and an individual silver medal in the vault event. Michaela was also a member of the gold-winning American team at the 2011 World Championships. She started gymnastics when she was 2 and started actual training when she was 9 at Gymax. Did you know Michaela was going to gymnastics 8 hours a day, Monday through Saturday? No wonder Michaela was so good, but it also took a toll on her body. Michaela was in a 49-minute interview when she announced her retirement. Michaela retired because of health issues. She had 3 surgeries and adrenal fatigue. Adrenal fatigue is when the adrenal glands are below the necessary level. Michaela had a broken right toe, broken tibia, and a fractured shin. She had to have screws to put her leg back together. Michaela wasn't eating enough, therefore not giving herself enough calories. Her body was getting weaker. So we wish Michaela all the best in her retirement. Thank you. Back to you, Cami.
Thanks, Emmeline.
I didn't know that Michaela Maroney had 3 surgeries.
Neither did I.
Anyways, now we are going to Jonathan with Brian Wilson.
Thank you, Connor. Today I'll be talking about Brian Wilson, the former Giants closer, attempting a comeback as a knuckleballer. Brian Wilson was born March 16, 1982 in Winchester, Mass. He played for the Lanier High School baseball team and Louisiana State University. He was drafted by the San Francisco Giants in 2004 and won 2 World Series with the club. Wilson was known for his distinctive beard, and Fear the Beard was a popular nickname for his fans. He suffered several injuries and had to have a Tommy John surgery in 2012. He became a free agent and signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers. After a second Tommy John surgery in 2013, he had a difficult season and was released by the Dodgers before the 2015 season. For the last 2 years, Wilson did not search for a new home until he was fully healthy. It would not do to have the beard return as anything less. Wilson has been working out in Southern California with an eye toward becoming a starting pitcher who throws only knuckleballs. Wilson taught himself a knuckleball in his youth and would mess around with it even as a pro. He's already shown off his knuckler to 2 major league teams. So the question is, will the beard make a comeback? Only time will tell. Back to you, Connor.
Thanks, Jonathan.
I didn't know that Brian Wilson was called Fear the Beard.
Me neither.
Now we are going to Brent about the Amur leopard.
Thanks, Cami. Today I am talking about an endangered animal, the Amur leopard. The Amur leopard lives in Russia and the northeastern part of China. Amur leopards are extremely fast, and their top speed is 37 miles an hour. The Amur leopard's favorite food is roe deer. Also, the Amur leopard is known for its beautiful fur. The Amur leopard is the most endangered animal in the world, with only 60 to 80 Amur leopards left. The biggest reason the Amur leopard is endangered is because people hunt it for its beautiful spotted fur that is sold for $500 to $1,000. The Amur leopard is also endangered because of loggers. Loggers chop trees, they also burn them. Sometimes the fire spreads and destroys habitats of the leopards and its prey. The Amur leopard has its own park called the Land of the Leopards National Park, located in Russia, which was formed to protect the leopard. The Land of the Leopards National Park is trying to get more roe deer into the park so the Amur leopard can get more food. The park also has an anti-poaching brigade to prevent people getting into the park and killing the leopard. That's all for today. Back to you, Cami.
Thanks, Brent.
I didn't know that the Amur leopard is endangered.
There are only 60 to 80 left.
Yep, now to Lily with African dancing and drumming and dancing.
Thank you, Connor. Did you know that 2 African men, James Marshall and Steve Ferris, are coming to North School during the week of May 15th through the 19th to teach kids about the history of African dancing and drumming? African dance has been taught by tribe dance masters for centuries. Each dance tells about motions or celebrations and brings the communities together. The dances are taught to children at a young age because it takes many years to achieve how to segment different parts of the body to move differently. Each tribe performs different dances for the same purpose, but all movements in each case need to be exact to get the message across. The drum is a part of the African community's everyday life. Drums are not only used for celebrations, but also to send messages to the tribe or neighboring communities or healing the sick. I cannot wait to learn more about African dancing and drumming from James Marshall and Steve Ferris. It'll be so much fun. Back to you, Connor.
Thanks, Lily.
I didn't know that drumming is part of their everyday life.
We are going to do that too.
I guess so. Anyways, you are now going to Taylor about tsunamis.
Thank you, Cami. A tsunami is a series of ocean waves that send surges of water onto land. Tsunamis are formed by underwater volcanoes or undersea earthquakes. When the underwater volcanoes explode, they push up the water, forming a big wave that gets bigger as it comes to shore. Some can reach up to 600 feet high and can travel as fast as 500 miles per hour, which is as fast as a jet plane. Although tsunamis do the most damage to towns and cities near the coast, they can destroy entire ocean basins. The Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004 was one of the deadliest disasters, with more than 230,000 people killed or missing in 14 countries. Japan has the longest recorded history of tsunamis. In 2011, an earthquake shook Japan and triggered a tsunami that was so large that it damaged a nuclear power plant. About 230,000 people lost their homes and still haven't been able to rebuild. The damage was estimated at $300 billion. The most recent tsunami was on September 16, 2015. Well, hopefully we don't have any tsunamis in the future. Back to you, Cami.
Thanks, Taylor.
That's so cool how tsunamis are formed by underwater volcanoes.
Yes, it is.
Now we have Cami telling us about Gabby Douglas.
Thanks, Connor. Hi, I'm Cami. Have you heard about Gabby Douglas? Gabby Douglas is an American Olympic gold medal winner in gymnastics. When she competes in the Olympics, she competes for the U.S. Women's National Gymnastics team. Her first experience with gymnastics came at the age of 3 when she perfected a straight cartwheel using a technique that she learned from her older sister, Ariel, a former gymnast. By age 4, Gabby Douglas had taught herself how to do a one-handed cartwheel. She began taking formal gymnastics training at 6 years old and won a state championship by the time she was 8. With encouragement from Gabby Douglas's sister, Gabby's mother allowed Gabby to begin taking formal gymnastics classes at 6 years old. Only 2 years later, in 2004, Gabby was named a Virginia State Gymnastics champion. Gabby Douglas is best known as the first African American to win the individual all-around event. She also won gold medals for the U.S. in the team competitions at the 2012 and 2016 Summer Olympics. Gabby Douglas moved away from her hometown and family in 2010 to pursue training with a world-renowned Olympic trainer and was selected to compete with the U.S. Olympic Women's National Gymnastics team at the 2012 Summer Olympics. There, Gabby Douglas became the first African American to win a gold medal in the individual all-around event. Back to you, Connor.
Oh, thanks, Cami. I didn't know that Gabby Douglas won the individual all-around event.
I did, but isn't it so cool? Lastly, we have Connor with augmented reality goggles.
Thanks, Cami. Did you know that Google Glass started the phenomenon that we now know as augmented reality, or AR? AR is when you can project computer-generated holograms onto the goggles and into the world. Everyone thinks that virtual reality is awesome these days, but when you walk, you could crash or fall. Tons of companies from around the U.S. have been getting in on the action, like Microsoft, Buzzix, PlayStation, and a lot more companies. These are some of the best companies trying to make AR goggles: Epson, Google, Sony, and more. What started it all was on April 5th, 2012, when Babak Parvez invented Google Glass. From that day on until now, people have exploded with ideas for different types, like a GPS, for example. It may sound good, but the prices will burn a large hole in your wallet. Most of these goggles will cost from $500 to $3,000, so if you were thinking of buying these, then save up. Some less expensive ones are out now for consumers to buy. Though it may be awesome and cost a lot, you may need to wait a while, as the one with the most potential, Microsoft HoloLens, the complete version, will not come out until at least 2020. But you can buy the developer edition with 7 apps for a splintering $3,000. 3 of the apps are Skype, RoboRaid, and Young Conquer, but some goggles can have more apps, like camera and cycling apps. These are popular apps for glasses already out. These will sell fast, so buy them quick. Back to you, Cami.
Thanks, Connor. I didn't know that augmented reality goggles actually existed.
I did, and I think they are very interesting.
They are. Anyways,
This is WNSB signing off.
This is WPCB, broadcasting from the Londonderry TV Access Center.
Hi, I am Reed.
And I'm Sophia.
We are WPCB reported from the Access Center.
Heidi is going to talk about football concussions and how much there are each year.
And then we have Jack talking about the history of the Palace Theater in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Reed is going to talk about Valor fire safety and what's required for 2020 testing.
Katie is going to talk about animal shelters and what's good or bad about them. Sophia is going to talk about the Kentucky Derby and its history.
Andreas will be talking about jets and how dangerous they are.
Mark is going to talk about Syrian immigration.
Lastly, Nick is going to talk about the overall dam in California and the big flooding. Over to you, Heidi.
Thank you, Sophia. Did you know that 1,364 concussions happen in a year in professional football? A concussion is when two football players are trying to go after the ball and they hit heads or run into another player's shoulder or the ground. Concussions are really dangerous. A research study at Boston University performed autopsies on 79 retired NFL players. 76 of them had tested positive for CTE. CTE is a disease that can lead to memory loss, depression, and dementia. Also, football players are 3 to 4 more times likely to get Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and AIS. In 2015, 271 NFL players got concussions in practice, preseasons, and in games. This was a 32% increase. One reason for this increase is that when a player gets hurt, the doctors, coaches, and other players notice that they're hurt and check on them. If they are hurt really bad, they'll take them back to the locker room and test them before they're allowed to return to the field. The NFL will spend another $100 million on safety equipment and research on effects of concussions. A company called Vices has invented a new helmet. The new helmet costs $1,500. The helmets they have now cost $150 to $400. The new helmets will give more protection when a player runs into another player or hits the ground. Back to you, Sophia.
Yikes, I never knew that there were that much concussions from football each year.
Me too.
Ouch.
Over to you, Jack.
Thank you, Reed. Hi, today I will tell you the history of the Palace Theater in Manchester, New Hampshire. The Palace Theater is a place where they show live performances. They often show Disney performances and other performances as well. They are a very talented association. The history of the Palace started on April 9, 1915. They performed a show called Modern's Eve. Tickets sold out on opening night for only 75 cents. There were 22 other theaters called the Great White Way. From 1915 to 1930, the Palace was at its best. Stock companies would spend money on a theater, presented up to 12 performances per week. The Palace became a movie house from 1930 to the early 1960s. In the late 1960s, the Palace began to decline. People were not interested in the Palace and it went bankrupt. It was being used as a classroom space for the New Hampshire College. Then it became a warehouse. It seemed like the Palace was done. However, in 1974, the mayor decided to give the Palace a second chance, so the Palace once again celebrated opening night. Today, the Palace's air conditioning is an 880-seat theater. It still shows performances live for Disney and other movies. It is a 101-year-old giant. You can buy tickets before or at the door. The tickets are not expensive. It is a fun night out. It is one of my personal favorites. Back to you, Reed.
Wow, I never knew the Palace Theater had that much history behind it.
Me neither. Over to you, Reed.
Thank you, Sophia. I am going to talk about Valor Fire Safety today. Valor Fire Safety is a smoke detector company that invented external sampling photoelectric, or ESP smoke detection technology. A company is going to test all smoke detectors by their ability to go off when there's a fire and by their nuisance. Most smoke detectors have nuisance in them, except for the ones Valor makes. Valor will pass the tests in May 2020. If you do not know what nuisance is, for example, when you are taking a shower, Put a smoke detector with nuisance in your bathroom, and the smoke detector will start beeping. Even if you put the smoke detector with nuisance in the kitchen and you cook toast, the smoke detector will start beeping. Not with Valor, though. What most people do is they take the battery out of their smoke detectors, and when there is a fire, you have no protection. But Valor is going to help other companies by using their technology. How does Valor not have nuisance in their smoke detectors? Valor tracks the smoke outside the detector with an infrared and blue light to detect the smoke. Other smoke detectors with nuisance track the smoke inside, so stay tuned. You might have to get new smoke detectors if your company does not pass. I hope I've helped you to understand this new technology. Back to you, Sophia.
Well, I never knew that Valor invented ESP smoke detectors and all smoke cannot have nuisance after May 2020.
Over to you, Katie.
Thank you, Reed. Hi, I'm Katie. Did you know that over 3 million animals die in a shelter in just 1 year? That is a lot of pets lost. The animal most likely to die in a shelter is a dog. Some shelters are very bad. They are kill shelters. In a kill shelter, they kill animals when there is no more room. They kill dogs, cats, hamsters, and more. Another kind of shelter is a no-kill shelter. The Manchester Animal Shelter in Manchester, New Hampshire does not kill animals. Last time I went, I talked to one of the workers named Jen. I asked her how you know if a family is a good match for a pet. She said that they match the pet with the family, so if there is a pet who doesn't like cats or kids or dogs, they'll give it to a family who does not have cats, kids, or dogs. The adoption process is really easy. All you have to do is tell them what animal and breed you want, and they will show you what they have. Once you selected your pet, you have to sign some papers and maybe pay a fee. Then you can take your friend home. In some shelters, they will give you a bag of food and something they love like a toy. That is all you have to do. I hope I convinced you to go out there and get your friend today at your local shelter. Back to you, Reed.
Gosh, I did not know how animal shelters work.
Same with me.
Over to you, Sophia.
Thanks, Reed. The Kentucky Derby is one of the biggest horse races every year. Millions of people come from all around the world to see one jockey win $124,000 while the horse wins $1,240,000. My name is Sophia Carroll, and today I'll tell you the interesting facts on the history of the Kentucky Derby. It all started in 1872 when Meriwether Lewis Clark, grandson of William Clark, traveled to Europe. While there, he attended the Epsom Derby. When he got back, he wanted to make a horse race of his own. The first actual race was in 1875 on May 17th. In 1875, about 10,000 spectators came to watch other sides win the first Kentucky Derby. Although the place where the Kentucky Derby takes place is called Churchill Downs, they only started to call the track that was in 1883. Some people have not seen the most recent horse to win is Nyquist 2016. The Kentucky Derby is a horse race but has several traditions. One big tradition is hats. Every derby, the women put on big, tall, and the little crazy hats. They wear the hat because back when the Kentucky Derby first started, hats were a part of everyday wear for women. So when the women went to the Kentucky Derby, they of course wore a hat and are still wearing them today. The Kentucky Derby is the longest running sports event in the USA. This race is sometimes called the Run for Roses. The winning horse is draped with red roses because the rose is the official Kentucky flower. Also in 1930, the term the Triple Crown is used in the New York Times. The Triple Crown is the title given to the winner of 3 premier races: the Kentucky Derby, Preakness, and Belmont. The Kentucky Derby is the first race in this annual event. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this newscast, and I hope we all get a chance to see the Kentucky Derby someday. Back to you, Reed.
Whoa, the Kentucky Derby has a lot of history behind it.
Over to you, Andreas.
Thank you, Sophia. Droughts. They can be economically challenging, and today I'm going to tell you how bad they can be. What is a drought, you may wonder? A drought is a long period with little to no rainfall. You may not know there is a drought unless you observe the environment closely or hear it from a professional. There are 5 different categories of droughts. The least is abnormally dry, then moderate drought, after severe drought, then extreme drought, and worst of all, exceptional drought. We in New Hampshire are currently in a severe drought. There are 4 different kinds of droughts. These droughts consist of meteorological drought, agricultural drought, hydrological drought, and socioeconomic drought. Droughts are extremely hard on farmers because they lose their plants and crops due to the drought. Private and public wells alike are drying up. Farmers have lost millions of dollars, and federal agricultural officials have declared New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Connecticut a natural disaster area. Luckily, we have seen some improvement in drought conditions in New Hampshire. Hope it continues to stay like this. Back to you, Sophia.
I never knew there are 4 different types of droughts.
Wow, I didn't either.
Over to you, Mark.
Thanks, Sophia. Syria is a small country with a population of 22.89 million. Because of the conflict in 2011, the Syrian civil war, 1 in 4 people in the country have become refugees. Over 1 million Syrians have fled to other countries to escape from the conflict. Lebanon, Turkey, Iraq, and Sweden, among other countries, have taken the refugees in. One of the countries, Lebanon, is struggling to educate the Syrian refugee children. 5 years after the start of the Syrian civil war, more than 250,000 children, approximately half of the nearly 500,000 school-age Syrian children registered in Lebanon, are out of school. Many of the boys need to work to help support their family. Others are too poor to send their children to school. Even though the public school is free, there is just not enough space for all the children. I certainly hope that they are able to figure something out so all the children can get an education. Back to you, Sophia.
Man, I didn't know anything about Syrian immigration.
Same with me. Over to you, Nick.
Thanks, Sophia. Have you heard about the Orville Dam in Orville, California, and how it's causing floods and destroying homes? It all started on February 7, 2017, when a giant hole suddenly opened up in the chute. Now the secondary spillway has a leak. This problem has affected more than 180,000 people. That's crazy. The Orville Dam was built in the 1960s and is the tallest dam in the United States, holding back over 1 trillion gallons of water. Back in 2005, they warned the dam may not hold. Now, with weeks of storms and the reservoir is filled to the brim, the Orville Reservoir was above normal capacity, and with a break in the spillway, the water did not flow directly into the Feather River. Instead, it spilled over and began washing debris down the hillside. The people who work at Orville Dam and Red Cross are gathering rocks and dropping them into holes by using helicopters, hopping to shore up the structure. The question still is, will the dam hold? What if they get more rain? On February 14, 2017, authorities told people from Orville they could come back home while the dam is stable. Managers and crew continue to monitor the situation. They will need to continue to monitor the weather and situation until the main spillway is completely fixed. But could this happen again? This is Nick signing out. Back to you, Sophia.
That flood did cause a bunch of damage.
It really has. Well, that is all we have from WPCB today.
Thanks for watching.
This is WTBG coming to you live from the Londonderry Access Center.
Hi, my name is Brock.
And I'm Gianna.
Today we'll be hearing a variety of voices, including
Valentina with the story on Simone Biles.
Lauren with some information on Disney's history.
Alexis informing us with some facts about the Patriots' history.
Gianna telling us about this year's school play.
Jacob with facts about Nintendo's history.
Jonathan James with a story on China's air pollution.
And Brock telling us about Anki.
Let's start.
And now Valentina with the story on Simone Biles.
Thanks, Gianna. Have you ever heard of Simone Biles? Well, she's an American Olympian gold medal winner in gymnastics. When she was 6 years old, 2003, she went to a Brandon's daycare field trip. When she was there, she imitated the moves of the other gymnasts, and Coach Ronnie noticed. Simone was insisting that her parents enroll her in the gym. The gym sent home a letter requesting she join tumbling and gymnastics. This proved that she was really flexible and good at what the other gymnasts did. In 2013, when she was 16 years old, she joined the United States Olympic women's team. She was a world champion. She was a world championship with American gymnast with 14 total medals, 10 gold, 2 silver, 2 bronze. Olympic gold medalists in vault, 4 individual and team all around. Bronze medalist on beam at 2016 Rio Olympics. She was named Olympic Athlete of the Year by the USOC 2015. She was receiving high praise from peers and Olympic legends alike. She was the first woman in 23 years to win 3 all-around national titles. She was also the first female African-American to win all-around world champion. Her nickname is Simone. Her favorite event is the floor, the complex flip that she incorporated into her floor routine during the 2013 World Championships is now known as WOWs. Her interests of gymnastics are going shopping and hanging out with her friends. Simone has been called the most talented gymnast of all time. Her favorite thing about gymnastics are competing and traveling. She doesn't know if she's going to continue gymnastics yet. Back to you, Gianna.
Wow, I can't believe that Simone was only 16 when she joined the United States Olympic women's team. That's awesome.
Yeah, no kidding, that is pretty awesome. Now let's head over to Lauren with Disney's history.
Almost every kid grows up knowing the name Disney, but most people don't know the history of how it started. It began in 1923. Walt and his older brother Roy had a small office in Los Angeles where they produced a series of short animated films called the Alice Comedies. They soon moved to a larger office next door where they continued the series for 4 years. Then in 1927 they made a new character called Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Walt made several of these cartoons, but the next year he found out that the distributor went behind his back and tried to make the Oswald cartoons without him because it would cost less money. After losing his studio and Oswald, Walt gathered money to rent a new and bigger studio, but as time passed, the company outgrew it and moved again to a studio in Hollywood. There was one thing that Walt needed now, a new character. Walt's chief animator suggested that he should design a mouse character, so Walt designed a mouse with a friendly personality. His original name was Mortimer Mouse, but it was later changed to Mickey Mouse. The first cartoon that aired was called Steamboat Willie. It was immediately popular, and Walt soon produced another series to go along with the cartoons, called The Silly Symphonies. In 1937, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was released and became the highest-grossing film. Work began on the other films, but then came World War II. Some of the films that were released during the war were Pinocchio, Fantasia, Bambi, and more. Then in 1950, Treasure Island and Cinderella were released. In 1955, the company was getting back on track. The Mickey Mouse Clubhouse aired and Disneyland opened on July 17th. Walt felt that there should be a park where both children and adults can have fun. Although both Walt and Roy had passed away, their memories still live on with Disney. Back to you, Brock.
Wow, it's interesting how he had a brother named Roy.
And I can't believe that Steamboat Willie was their first cartoon, and now Alexis with facts on the Patriots' history.
Thank you, Gianna. Today I will be talking about the New England Patriots history. Do you have a favorite football team? Take the Patriots, for instance. They have won 5 Super Bowls and plenty more. Let's talk about how they became a team. It started in 1959. Billy Sullivan Jr. was awarded the 8th and final franchise in the new American Football League. The name Patriots was selected in a contest to name the team. And an artist named Phil Bissell drew a cartoon of a Minuteman preparing to snap a football. Billy Sullivan liked the drawing so much that he selected it as the team logo. On July 30th, the Patriots had their first preseason game against the Buffalo Bills, and they won 28-7. Unfortunately, the first regular season game was on September 9th, and they lost to the Denver Broncos 13-10. After playing in 4 different stadiums, the Patriots selected Foxborough as the new home for their team. Then in March 1971, the team was renamed to the New England Patriots. In 1992, a businessman named James B. Orthwein purchased controlling interest of the Patriots and made some new changes, including hiring New York Giants head coach Bill Parcells and changing the Patriots logo from the Minuteman to Pat Patriot. In 2004, Bob Kraft purchased the team. Thankfully, Bill Belichick was hired as the club's 14th head coach in 2000, and the Patriots started their winning streak. The Patriots definitely went through a lot of exciting things. I hope you enjoyed my story about the Patriots' history. Back to you, Gianna.
Wow, the Patriots sure do have a lot of history.
That's for sure. Let's head over to Gianna talking about this year's school play.
Thank you, Brock. This year, school is doing a play called Honk. In case you don't know what Honk is, it is about the story of the ugly duckling, based on the original story by Hans Christian Andersen. In the beginning, the ugly duckling struggles to fit in because of his appearance. By the middle, he runs away from home. Finally, at the end, he becomes a beautiful swan. This story has a small message, which is what matters most is what's on the inside, not the outside. I think that our music teacher, Mrs. Laporte, chose this story for our play because of the ups and downs in Ugly's life. The ugly duckling finds himself in awkward positions throughout the play. One of them is when he is persuaded to go and get a snack with the cat, but little did he know that he was going to be the snack. Little perks like this make the play very exciting. It helps tell the story in a new, unique way. Our school play takes place at the Palace Theater on March 29, 2017. Both the 4th and 5th graders had a chance to audition for a role in it. This year, there were 70 students who tried out for Honk. It's such a great experience. I hope this encourages you to be a part of the play when you have the chance. Back to you, Brock.
What a great message, Gianna.
And now Jacob with Nintendo's history.
Thanks, Gianna. Now I will tell you the history of Nintendo. Well, you may be guessing Nintendo started as a gaming company in the 70s, but they started in 1889 as a card company. Nintendo had massive success in Japan. Nintendo was not called Nintendo until 1949. They were called Nintendo Card Company. Nintendo was a card company from 1889 to 1956. They became a toy company, but only for 16 years. Then they became the gaming giants Nintendo is today. The first Nintendo platform was the Game & Watch. The design of the Game & Watch inspired the design of the Nintendo DS in 2005. In 1983, gaming's popularity took a nosedive. Nintendo saved gaming with the games Super Mario Bros. And The Legend of Zelda. Gaming was brought back from the dead. Then in 1991, Super Mario World came out and Sega rising in sales with Sonic the Hedgehog. Nintendo beat Sega in sales. Then the Game Boy came out, followed by the N64, GameCube, Game Boy Advance, DS, Wii, Wii U, and now the brand new Nintendo Switch. Back to you, Gianna.
I can't believe the Game & Watch inspired the design of the Nintendo's DS look in 2005.
And now it's over to Jonathan James with China's air pollution.
Thanks, Brock. Do you ever think about China's pollution and its causes? If you don't, then you should. China's pollution is catastrophic enough already. You'd be surprised about how much information there is. Let's get to that. First of all, how bad is China's air pollution? Well, millions of people died from exposure to heavy air pollution last year. Do you think that's bad? Well, did you know that a large amount of these people that died to the pollution couldn't afford a mask? I feel bad for everyone currently breathing China's heavily polluted air because, in some areas, the pollution is so bad that it's about as dangerous as smoking 40 cigarettes a day. Coal is the leading source of pollution in China. This almost uninhabitable country's electricity is 70% powered by coal. When coal burns, it pushes pollutants into the air such as carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. These pollutants get into the air through cracks in the ground. PM 2.5, also known as particulate matter 2.5 micrometers or less, is the type of particulate matter that can be found in soot, smoke, and dust. It can also come from burning coal. This type of matter is very small, so they can get stuck in your lungs easily. This can lead to asthma, chronic lung disease, and more. There's a way to help keep PM 2.5 out of the body. This method is to wear a mask. It's a good idea to think twice about moving to China or staying for any length of time. Back to you, Brock.
While people die from heavy air pollution?
That's crazy. And now Brock telling us about Anki.
Thanks, Gianna. Anki was founded by Boris Hoffman and located in San Francisco. Boris wanted to make advanced robots that used artificial intelligence, AI. Anki has now created products that use the AI intelligence. They made Anki Drive, Overdrive, and Cosmo. All of them are robots that you can play with. Here are some facts and information about them. Overdrive is the new version of Drive. Overdrive and Drive are racing games that Anki created. An Overdrive starter kit is priced at $149.99, with supercars at $49.99 and super trucks at $59.99. And the track accessories around $10 to $15. All these products require an app to be used. You need an Apple or Android device to download the app. Drive and Overdrive allows you to play with other people, but you need to be in the same room. The cars scan the track at around 1,000 bytes per second. You can race, fight, do time trials, and play King of the Hill. Now finally to facts about Cosmo. Cosmo is all AI intelligence. He explores, plays games, and greets any pet or human, and runs on his own Wi-Fi. Cosmo also plays to win. Go to the Anki website for more information about them, and I hope you consider buying this product. And now back to you, Gianna.
I think that Cosmo is such a great idea.
I totally agree.
Thanks for listening, and once again, this is WTBG signing off.